Hi, Tony Sells with the line. We've got Kerman Kasad on today with Arc Document Solutions, and this is kind of my brother from another mother. We've actually both taken a couple companies to market and the technology side, and there's so many things we agree on this lean startup movement, on go to market, on how you're going to evolve a product by partnering with your customer base and then getting very intimate with what is specific to their domain expertise, so your product evolves, helping adoption, not just having the features and the benefits that a list on that product services doc. This is a different way to go to market than we saw the two decades before in technology. Wouldn't you agree, Kerman?
Absolutely. So, Tony, thank you for the opportunity again. So, in our business, when we're talking and going to specific customer, I think it is needless to say, it's vital to understand customer. And this is like putting it very simplistically. Before we actually started across, we had to really understand and look at our customer in a way that a consumer company would look at. Okay, what are how are they playing around with technology? Because we had a huge set of our customer who were on different plane when it came to use of technology. And we had to be very careful not to switch them off by talking about that. So one, understanding customer was very, very important. Number two, I think the biggest challenge that we had in the go-to-market today was how do we distinguish ourselves from a generic solution provider to a specialized provider?
Right.
And in our space, we have some of very large giant solution companies with very, very deep, financial pockets. And we had to really compete with them. So understanding customer and how do we apply that understanding and go to market was extremely important. Once we do that, I think the second most important was, we had to really, really tighten up the message. Because message was really, we cannot go broad, we cannot go generic. There was always a challenge in, okay, this is what the industry terminology is, but this is the technology terminology.
Yep.
How do we really make them meet? Because again, it's so easy to get carried away by technology and everything that we do and start taking ourselves a lot more seriously than taking our customers, that, we had to put across checks and balances saying, okay, how much is the industry knowledge that we are going to use?
Right.
Is it going to really resonate there? I think that kind of preparation was very, very important, and we invested a lot of time in doing that.
Well, I think, Kerman, one of the things that you can look back through the history of great technology go-to-markets, and they all nichified in the beginning. They all found their unique user group. They created their messaging and delivered it specifically to that group, and they owned that group. They didn't try to boil the ocean. And there's so many great engineers creating so many awesome products, but they don't design the customer experience in the beginning. And because they don't, they could have the cure for cancer and they die on the vine, right? I mean, they don't get to market because they really haven't thought through the entire ecosystem. And, whether Facebook started with college kids, right? I mean, they started with, and actually, realistically, they started with one university at Harvard. PayPal started with power groups of the power users on eBay. They all start with unique niche. Even Apple started with the creative class. And so, this helping companies understand the power of this is, yes, you may have invented something that can cure cancer, but if somebody wants it in a pill and you're delivering it in a syringe and you haven't listened to them, you can continue to miss the boat there.
Yeah, absolutely. We wanted to be in a situation where, bunch of engineers without domain knowledge trying to create a horse that looks like a donkey.
Yeah.
So, we actually took a very different approach as with our deep domain knowledge. So we actually started by getting across experts within our company, people with 40, 50 years of experience, and try to start putting across saying, okay, what is the challenge that we plan to solve with our customer? And then we went across building across a product. And every time we were doing that, we also kept in mind that, okay, is this going to switch off and put off our customer, or is this going to attract our customer, get them excited to start working across? And I think as we launched this product in January, we are seeing a steady adoption of the product. The beauty is right from the smaller to the larger enterprises, because larger enterprises, as I mentioned, are much more open, more, they are always the early phase, but it's the smaller ones that were challenged. And let me share this with you. I actually went across and I met a lot of small general contractors. Mm-hmm. And when I do talk about small in middle America and middle markets, we have most of them family-owned companies. The owners are in the late 60s. And the moment I spoke about cloud, they almost fell out of their chair. They said, no, we don't want to. And the beauty is, it's the same type of customers who were resisting in the earlier phase. We have seen a gradual adoption taking place without much of inhibition, and I think it comes with deep domain knowledge of addressing those concerns and helping them saying, okay, how is it going to make them more profitable? I think that is the key.
There's two good books for our readers and our followers that I'd recommend. One is Traction, which is basically a very good methodology to partner with your clients and to find unique ways to growth by allowing that feedback loop to tighten, which is what you guys have done. It's, the tighter the feedback loop, the better that you can make improvements, the more you can remove friction in your product adoption to allow to serve a target market better. And the other one's Growth Hacker, which is, another great book. But the reality why I'm validating what we're seeing here today, what your company's been built on and what our company's been built on is it's uniquely serving that market and doing it in a way that removes friction. I mean, friction is what is hurting us in the selling and marketing process. With the buyer today has access to all the information that we have access to. It's the amount of friction we can remove in the buying process that's really going to create that differentiator for us. And domain knowledge and expertise and customizing with your product having 3 clicks to save and share. I mean, that's really a pretty frictionless play. Would you agree that friction is kind of one of those things that we're designing more and more in our client experience in order to provide better value?
Oh, absolutely, I agree. And as I mentioned earlier, that any technology that we are introducing, we have to introduce with assumption that this is an enabler. Mm-hmm. That means that it is so easy to use that you don't require an IT degree to really adopt and use it. So the moment we take that approach, we kind of really remove all the friction and make adoption so much easier and smoother, mm-hmm. right? So technology happens to be an enabler. And I think increasingly, industry cloud providers are looking at that approach and creating those solutions for quicker, faster, better adoption, and above all, the natural outcome is the stickiness of the customer, right? Yeah. Because the moment customer starts using the product and they realize it's like any other product which is designed for them, the longevity increases multifold.
Yeah.
Several folds.
Yeah. So Arc Document Solutions is really an intuitive, easy to use, cloud-based, document management system that for architects, construction, and engineers, that's how tightly you guys have really designed your value proposition. And that's really where we're going as technology companies. You grow rich in a niche, right? That's what you guys have done.
Precisely.
Thanks so much for being on the show, brother.
Thank you so much, Tony, again.